What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs and a second video in the Love or Hate City series. Our last video was about the most hated cities in the United States. If you didn't see the first video, there's a link down below. If you haven't seen that video, let me recap. There were a couple surveys that asked Americans to list the 3 US cities they loved. They also asked if they hated them, but this one's about the loving of them. Sounds a little weird. There were no requirements like low crime, low cost of living, great schools. It was just based on people's opinions. We all have different reasons why we might love or hate a city. You know, it brings back memories, you met your spouse there, anything. There's a million reasons why you might love a city. I did a little more digging and found out the most common reasons people give to why they love or hate a city. And then the other day I asked on this channel what cities our viewers loved. And I can tell you right now, most of the people that replied to that question will agree with this list because the most common answers were already on this list. I also want to give you a heads up and save you the comment later on. One of the cities on this list was also one of the most hated cities. It's a perfect example of how we're all different. You may love a city, someone else hates a city. We all see things differently. We all have different experiences in locations. But this list is ranked by what percentage of the people surveyed had these cities in their 3 cities they loved. All right, let's see what the most loved cities are. Number 10, Savannah, Georgia. If you've ever been to Savannah, you'll understand why it made this list. It's a beautiful, historic city with a waterfront that is one of my favorite places to just walk around. The architecture, the people, the food, there's not a lot wrong with Savannah in my opinion. And it's not that big, so it just shows that how much people love this small city, I guess you could say. It's not small, but compared to some of the other ones on this list, it's on the smaller size. I mean, they only have about 144,000 residents. If you look at the whole metro area, they got less than 400,000. And think about it. Think of all the cities we have in the United States. I mean, most people are going to answer with the big cities. This smaller city has made enough of an impact on enough people to get them on a list like this. If you ever do get a chance to visit Savannah, I would suggest it. Summers are great. It gets a little humid, but it's a great place to visit during the summer. Just walk around, look at the architecture, meet the people, sit in a park, and just look around. I love Savannah. 35% of the people surveyed had Savannah as one of their 3 choices. The reasons most often given to why they love Savannah: the food, the people, the architecture. Number 9, Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston is a lot like Savannah, just bigger and a little bit more of everything. Charleston has some of the most interesting history this country has to offer. If you're a history buff, I'm sure this is already on your top 10 travel bucket list. Probably right behind like Gettysburg, Philadelphia, Boston, and Booger Hole, West Virginia. And go ahead and put the video on pause while you look up to see if Booger Hole is a real place. I promise you it is. And Booger Hole is spelt the traditional way. If you ever visit Charleston, you'll find out that their history goes back to the colonial days, the Revolutionary War, all the way up to the Civil War. They've had a bunch of other things go on since then, but that's where a majority of all their really cool history is from. They also have tons of great architecture from back in that day. You could take tours and just look at these beautiful old buildings. Or blow off the tour and just go down to Rainbow Row. It's on East Bay Street. It's these 13 or 14 houses that are just multicolored. It's really neat. 37% of the people surveyed had Charleston, South Carolina as one of their 3 most loved cities. The reasons they gave most often: history, it's beautiful, and Bill Murray. Yes, Bill Murray is a reason to move to South Carolina, apparently. Number 8, Nashville, Tennessee. The only thing that surprises me about this one is it's not closer to number 1 on this list. People love Nashville. They always have. Downtown Nashville is just plain fun. You'll always find a good time in Nashville. Actually, that's the slogan they should have as you enter the city, like on the Welcome to Nashville sign. You'll always find a good time in Nashville. Go down to Broadway, you'll find more than enough of everything. I was there a couple years back and went from the Wheel to Tootsie's to Nudies. Nudies, I know it sounds like a strip club, it's not. I actually think Nudies was a souvenir shop when I went like in 2001. I could be wrong, but I swear I think there was a souvenir shop there. I don't know. Who knows? Nashville is great for people who love country music and its history. Go visit the Grand Ole Opry, RCA Studio B, which, I mean, this was a studio that recorded everyone from Elvis Presley, Roy Orbison, to Carrie Underwood, and everyone in between. It's now run by the Country Music Hall of Fame, but it's definitely something you want to stop by and check out, especially if you love country music. 42% of the people surveyed had Nashville as one of their top 3 they loved, and the reason they most often gave for loving Nashville, it's a great city. That is honestly what they said. It's a great city. And the music. Number 7, San Diego. Yeah, this one doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, you got SeaWorld, you got the San Diego Zoo, which is one of the best zoos in the country. You have North Island Naval Air Station right there in Coronado. You can sit on the beach in Coronado and watch jet fighters land there. Some of the best weather in the country almost all year round. The USS Midway Museum, which is a big aircraft carrier that you could take tours on. Over in La Jolla, you got the Comedy Store, which I used to do comedy there all the time. I love this city. I got 3 ex-girlfriends that live there that hate me, one of them for no reason. 46% of the people surveyed had San Diego in their top 3. Most common reasons people give for loving San Diego: the weather and the beaches. Number 6, Seattle, Washington. This one sort of surprised me. I didn't know so many people love Seattle. I mean, it's a great city. I go up there all the time. I'd love to visit. I'd love to get a beer there. I'd love to just hang out in Seattle. I just kind of thought it was me. I didn't know it was a big thing for a lot of people. You got all the standard things that all the tourists do there that are pretty cool. Space Needle, Pike Place Market, giant Ferris wheel on a pier. I was just there maybe a month ago, and I kept hearing about all the homeless and all that, and I hadn't been up there since the pandemic hit. And here in Portland, Oregon, since the pandemic hit, the homeless situation has gone through the roof. Just people pitching tents on the sidewalk everywhere. It was always bad here in Portland, but it got twice as bad when the pandemic hit. When I was up there last month, I hardly saw any of that. Seattle's a beautiful city and a great place to hang out. Again, 46% of the people had Seattle on their list. The most common reasons given for loving Seattle: the beer, the seafood, the Seattle Mariners, and the Seattle Seahawks. I also saw a lot of things where people just love to visit because they're going on a cruise. Number 5, Orlando, Florida. It's kind of hard not to have a city like Orlando on a most loved city list. You have nothing but places that bring happiness. Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, and more golf courses than should be allowed in a metro area. Before you do, we all know Disney is actually in Lake Buena Vista and technically not in Orlando. It's in the Orlando metro area though. Orlando is known as the amusement parks capital of the United States, so of course everyone's going to have nothing but half-beat thoughts until you get the credit card bill at least. 48% of the people surveyed had Orlando in their 3 most loved cities. And the reason everyone gave: great vacations and Disney World. That's it. Number 4, New Orleans, Louisiana. For someone who looks at stats about places every day, I don't really agree with the people that had this one on their list. I've been to New Orleans a few times and honestly felt guarded the whole time I was there. If I was outside the hotel room, I felt like I had to watch what I was doing. There's a lot of potential for bad things to happen here. That doesn't mean a bunch of people don't love this city. They do. Here we are. Mardi Gras is one of those things that you need to experience at least once in your life. I'd say in your 20s or 30s. A lot of drinking, a lot of good time, and like I said, a lot of potential for bad things. But Mardi Gras is an event that is just amazing. The French Quarter is a beautiful place to be. I mean, when it's not just overflowing with drunk people. The city has tons of history. Just reading about the history of New Orleans is kind of cool. I mean, you don't really have to go there to experience it. Read about New Orleans and the history of this place. It's great. 49% of the people had New Orleans on their 3, and the reason they give for loving New Orleans: the French Quarter and Mardi Gras. Number 3, San Francisco, California. I can already feel the amount of comments that are going to be put in the list for this one. San Francisco has a lot of problems these days and a lot of things that need to be fixed. That doesn't take away the history and the beauty of this city. I mean, they have tons of homeless. We know that. There's just a lot of bad things that go on there, but this city is so historic and has such beautiful architecture and just kind of cool things. Not too long ago, I read this blog about the most beautiful cities on the planet. San Francisco was right up there with Montreal, Paris, Berlin, London. I didn't expect that either. I mean, I've been to San Francisco too many times to count, and it's a great city. It's just got a lot of problems right now. But sounds to be like back before all the problems, a lot of people had some good memories here and some good times. I know quite a few of them. I never spent enough time in San Francisco to really get an affection for the place, but it is beautiful. I mean, think about it. You got Chinatown, you got beautiful ocean views, Alcatraz is right there, the Golden Gate Bridge. There's a lot to love about San Francisco. 49% of the people had California on their list of 3, and the reasons they gave: the Golden Gate Bridge and the history. One thing about San Francisco, when I put on my channel, what city do you love? This was one of the top cities. Number 2, Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah, you figured Hawaii had to be on this list someplace. Everybody loves Hawaii, the entire state, but Honolulu is one of those places that it's great for everyone. I mean, if you go to Pearl Harbor, which is right there, that's something for people that are into history. If you just want to go hang out on the beaches or the resorts, all of this brings just nice memories, people. Maybe not Pearl Harbor. I mean, that's basically a tomb to a lot of sailors from the attack on Pearl Harbor, but when you see it, it's history. It's moving. Honolulu is the capital of Hawaii. It's just surrounded by beautiful scenery, Waikiki Beach, and Diamond Head. 50% of the people surveyed had Honolulu as one of their 3 most loved cities. Reasons most often given for loving Honolulu: tropical weather, ocean. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There is a link down below. We'd love it if you checked it out. Maybe subscribe. It's up to you. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, New York City. Yep, here it is. The one I said was on both love and hate. It kind of makes sense. I mean, so many people just think this is the greatest place that was ever placed on this earth. And then you have other people that just think it should have that wall built around it like Escape from New York and forget about the place. New York City has a lot to offer anyone that wants to visit. More than 50 million people visit New York City every single year. It's got 5 boroughs that are totally different from each other. You got the Statue of Liberty, all the different bridges like the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan skyline, Staten Island's there, Coney Island, which Coney Island's kind of a trash heap, but it's still one of those places you kind of gotta just check out once. If you do visit, stop by and see the September 11th memorial. But I really do understand why so many people love this place and so many people hate this place. A lot of people got their start there, you know, in their life. They got out of college, they moved to New York, they had a good time. Some of them were sent back to Kansas with their tail between their legs. So you get a lot of potential for love-hate relationships with New York City. 52% of the people listed New York City as their most loved city. The reason people love New York City? It never sleeps. That's honestly the number 1 answer. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Check out the link of the first video down below. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.